URL. And when you go, if you never go back, you haven't rated it at all. It only gets a positive rating if you return to the website after 72 hours. Most phishing websites are shut down in less than 72 hours. So they have distinct temporal signatures. So they cannot get a positive rating here. This rating is a whitelist. These are all downloadable whitelist ratings, because one of the critical points about the system is that you decide who knows your information. The Microsoft anti-phishing toolbar sends your browsing information to Microsoft, right? As opposed to you and your friends deciding this is a trustworthy site. You and your friends and everyone else in the universe tells Microsoft where they're browsing, and then Microsoft tells you whether or not it's a good site. It's a very different privacy model. And in fact, it doesn't solve the Walmart Prada problem. The Prada people don't want to know what the Walmart people think. And the Walmart people think the Prada people are out of their minds and have no idea how much a shoe is supposed to cost. Right? So you have your own social group and you select these whitelist. You periodically download the whitelist. You don't send information back to them. Right? So when I gave this talk at Google, they told me, I said, I thought the list of about 50,000 would get the most popular websites. Am I wrong? And I don't know if you've ever talked to anybody from Google, but it's a one-way information exchange. And after some discussion, they were like, no, you are not wrong. So I feel pretty good about this. Maybe they meant, no, you're not so wrong, you're going to fall off the building, but all right. So, resources are bad or good. Bad resources do not exhibit strategic behavior, right? So if I'm trying to steal money from you as opposed to a wholesale phishing way, kind of a retail personal way, if I said, oh, I lost my wallet, I've got to have $50 so I can get home to the kids. Isn't that appealing? Shouldn't he give me $50? And he might respond, how did you lose your wallet? Oh, let me tell you. And then I'm strategic in my interaction with him. I'll give you my, do you have a pen? I'll give you my name and address. Right? So you can, in that kind of situation, the person is acting strategically. In phishing attacks, they're not. They go up and they try to draw people to them. They don't have strategic temporal behaviors. Good resources have an enduring identifier. That's all this requires. Good resources have an enduring identifier. Bad resources are limited in their ability to have strategic temporal behavior. Okay? And that there's a limited ability to discern type among the users. So, we have this network, and it's got like 5% really clueful people that are right 95% of the time. Every time they see a resource, they say, this is a phishing attack. This is a bad resource. This is a good resource. So you've got some people that are very close to right. And then they tell their friends, and then their friends, right, have a 50-50 chance of getting it right. They're basically flipping coins. We're talking my second cousin here. My second cousin with an alcohol level of 0.1. All right. Very simple model of network actors, right? We use this, that's a very simple model where you have close links and then you generate random links. So think of it as a circle where you're connected to your immediate neighbor, and then a certain number of links across the circle, a certain distance are generated, right? So that's our social network link, that you're close to the pods next to you, and you are randomly connected with some other network, okay? And the decision rule, a number of the neighbors who've also visited and typed that resource. And most of them are just kind of wandering around the internet, pretty much clue-free. So under the basic conditions, networked actors are very good at rejecting bad resources. In fact, these actors can achieve up to about 95% results. The guys who started out just flipping coins, they get up to about 95% right, just by having a social network depth of 2 and having that information feed to them. They do need some exogenous information sources. We have the exogenous information sources. Those are the little happy faces and Mr. Yuck, okay? So there's reason to believe that the theory is good, that you can compile and leverage human trust behavior, and the simulation suggests potential value. That leaves us with another question, which is how to build it. So I thought about the monkeys at the typewriter thing, but I decided that was taking this whole peer production too far. So our work in progress. We have a hash-based distributed file system. When I distribute the gene, Professor Gene, I have a 108-bit random number that is the name of an RSS feed. Okay? That RSS feed is nowhere publicly connected to me. It's registered only on my computer. The only people who know it connects to me are the people who I invite to participate. It is true that human betrayal remains possible in this system. But within that constraint, you control who knows information about you. Similarly, Mom, also known as me in a different context, has another random 128-bit number, okay? And these, I call them pseudo-public keys because there's no PKI, it's just a signature key. You get a random number and a public key when you join my little group of sharing friends. That way you can check my download, you can check my history feed that I'm sharing you. All right? So I have about 2 minutes and 40 seconds left, so I have the other protocol slides. The conclusion is using context for signaling provides a unique context based on personal history because your own personal history feeds back. Except if you mark a website private, there is no record kept of that visit, period. So if you go to, like wildboysintrouble4.com, that is and then you get phished, you won't know because you kept no record. It's not like, oh, it's private, so you should know. If it's private, it's dropped. You can have your own site, you can have your own personal social network of one where you feed back with yourself, but your private feed does not affect your ratings because we don't keep the history. Because we felt it was important that private meant private, not private except for it's in this file at work. And we are working to develop prototypes. And then the rest of the slides talk about how you get invited. We said you don't want to start with a single trusted server. But in fact, of course, on our prototype, we'll have one server, and we're going to add the distributed file table later because we want it to work first. And these are our protocol assumptions. We're assuming that the operating system is not on a malicious platform. If the operating system is malicious, all bets are off. Right? So thank you for your time. You have 59 seconds to ask questions. There are also 3 papers on this written from various perspectives. You can see these references. The first one is the Social Sciences Research Networking Conference. It has all the trust references. You'll find about 35 references on human trust in that paper. The second one is on, is it